Please. I do as I'm told and run as fast as I can back to Violet's house. Violet, normally one to trip over her feet, sprints in front of you with precision and purpose. We make it back to Violet's house just 2 minutes before Miss Lawrence is supposed to arrive. Okay, Violet, we're here. Now what the heck is going on? Why was any of that necessary? We couldn't have... Violet, hunched over and panting from exhaustion, slides over to me and puts her hands on my shoulders. Couldn't have waited a minute or two. Oliver, listen to what I'm about to say. Very carefully. It really doesn't matter if you don't know what's going to happen next. It's fine. That's fine. You don't have to know what's going to happen. Just keep moving forward. You don't have to know what's going to happen. Just keep moving forward until you come out on the other end. Are you talking about college? Yes, whatever, yes, just listen for a second, okay? I know I might have said some stuff before about taking it slow, but the truth is you're in way too deep now. You've already made your choice, and now you gotta push through. You need to reach escape velocity. If you stagnate and end up doing things halfway, you might as well be dead. Wait, what? Things might get a little weird from here on out. And you're probably going to end up being really uncomfortable at times. But stay committed and do what you need to do. Not necessarily what you want to do. It's the only way you're going to be satisfied with what's to come. And once you're done, and once you're on the other side, once it's over... Judith hands me a sheet of paper after school. Apparently her and the rest of the student council want all the seniors to vote on how they would do graduation this year. Blue. Make it past Ashton's unscathed to complete Category 1. No one wants to go the way you did. Every switch inside you was flipped, the small light bulb of your existence cracked with a whimper. Frothing thunder. None of us will make it to heaven. Category 2. Olive and I move a caravan of toy trains through the sand. We have established system of play. He builds some kind of legendary mountain, and I drive a fistful of locomotives through his grainy makeshift world. Afterwards, there's always a devastating explosion. He screams a shrill, piercing scream of what I can only assume is joy. Dolly's kid is one defective little robot. So it's the same shit every time. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand. Always a devastating explosion gets all over my damn shoes. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand, always an explosion. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand. Always an explosion, always a mountain, always a train, always sand, always an explosion. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand, always an explosion. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand, always an explosion. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand, always an explosion. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand, always an explosion. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand, always an explosion. Always a mountain, always a train, always sand, always an explosion. We repeat this cycle ad infinitum until a rather large blast shoots some sand into the poor kid's eyes. Dad, it hurts. It hurts so much. Help me, Dad, help. He asks for my help. And so I take my boy by the hand and feed his quivering form to the ocean. The salt water we use to flush out the sand is usually cold for summer, but it does the job just fine. He screams his normal scream now. Whatever, boys gotta learn that sometimes there's only one way to do things. Might as well learn now. Experiential education and all that. Because it's only after his face is drenched and his vision is clean that we can truly begin to understand each other, and, after all, a little water cleans everything. A little water cleans everything. Hey, Dad, if somebody really loves you, then why would they leave you? If they really love you, then why would they leave? Dad? Oliver? Oliver! Emil stands before me against the backdrop of a choppy, volatile ocean. His expression, though normally composed and confident, is that of a nervous child. Emil? Wait, where's Ashton? Exactly, he just left us here. He left Siren's call without a day's notice, like none of us ever mattered in the first place. That's why I called you here. I can't make sense of any of this by myself. Emil puts a small white envelope out of his pocket. To my knowledge, Andy and Judith received one as well. Did you or Violet happen to get one, perchance? I don't know. I never even get the mail. This is normally something Violet does after she takes her evening meds. Then I suggest you read this carefully. Really? Look it over, too. I was hoping you'd be able to spot something I might have missed. For Emil to even imply this is something he cannot solve without my help, it must be humbling. The way he is speaking, as if he earnestly desires my perspective. It almost reminds me of Violet in a way. I give him a decisive nod before grabbing the letter. A sheet of red construction paper limply hangs out at the top. I do as I have been told and read it carefully. No way. I look over the notes several more times. It's clearly written by Ashton. The handwriting, grammar, and spelling all imply as much. Even so, this doesn't make any sense. It says he went to college. That seems out of character. Wait, did Ash ever talk about going to college? Not to my knowledge, no. College wasn't something he seemed even remotely interested in. What about his dad? You think he'd know anything? Apparently he moved out as well. Are you serious? Why would I lie about this? Emil's eyes dilate with panic, leaving no room for anything resembling deception. What's more, they didn't even bother locking the door to their house. There was no furniture, no beer cans, no garbage. There wasn't even food left in the fridge. Emil begins gesturing to himself, like he's frantically trying to stuff his words into some kind of invisible box. His phone number hasn't been working either. They just vanished. No signs of a struggle, no signs of life at all. Just gone, like the universe simply didn't have a need for them anymore. Emil isn't even trying to look composed at this point. His demeanor is that of a mad scientist clawing into the air for some vital answer that's barely out of reach. But what about the underworld? Could this be our fault somehow? Is there any strange activity happening back there? No, I've already checked. The backside locker is still barren. Even where Ashton's house would have been? Maybe a really powerful siren made him sleepwalk or something? Were there any signs of siren activity at all? I've already looked everywhere for him. And there's nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Oliver, you're only recommending things I've already considered. Give me something new to work with, please. Emil isn't acting how he's supposed to. He's panicky. Clearly reaching the limits of his desperation. I look over the letter one last time. It is a little weird how he doesn't even say what college he's going to. He just says I'm heading out to college. There's no clues to his actual destination. You can't even tell if he's going out of state or not. So maybe college is code for something else? Have you compared your note with Judy? Or Andy's? Or maybe there's some kind of message here that he didn't want anybody else to see. A splash of color returns to Emil's eyes. He snatches the slip of red paper from my hand and begins frantically looking it over. Do you think Ashton is capable of something like that? Maybe, who knows? Maybe it's not even that complicated. Maybe we just need everyone else's to make sense of it. Did you read the note that Andy or Judy got? No, not yet. I was in a bit of a frenzy after I read mine, I'm sad to admit. But if your hypothesis is correct, then the notes alone wouldn't be enough to decrypt a hidden code. We would need Violet's note as well, would we not? Do you have any idea of her whereabouts? No, I actually haven't seen her today. In fact, this is when it hits me. An extremely obvious detail that I should have been immediately cognizant of. It's a detail that has turned this otherwise mundane environment into something deadly, like stepping into quicksand during a morning jog. And much like a carefree jogger falling into quicksand, I immediately began to panic. She's normally right here. She's normally here at the beach, right around where you're standing. This isn't right. She's supposed to be here. Where is she? A heartless gravity pushes me deep into the starving earth. I can feel the sand fold over my toes. It clings to my skin like a parasite. If this keeps up, if I stay here any longer, I'm going to end up being useless to her again. I have to get out of here. I have to find Violet. Oliver? I sprint away from Emmeline and up the boardwalk. I hear him shout something that sounds like, "Have her call me immediately," as I reach the top of the stairs. You might have to wait a little bit on one, dude. Journal page number 30. It's not how journals work. Normally I wouldn't risk breaking into the school during the day, but this is an extreme circumstance. I climb through a normal spot on the roof. I don't even bother concealing my presence as I sprint through the glossy hallways. But she's nowhere. Not in the bathrooms. Not in the cafeteria. Power. Violet asked me what sorts of things I want out of our relationship. It was kind of a big question, so I asked her if I could write down what I thought and give it to her later. Not only did she not give me shit for that, but she told me she'd also write down what she wants as well. Amazing. Why doesn't everyone just do things this way? It seems way easier. Like if things are written down, then they're much more real than a couple of vague sounds flying through the air. Way more real. Violet called my list easy and cute. She said it was already stuff she was planning on doing with me anyway. I guess I mostly just want to keep hanging out with her, like I have been, but with some more of this new stuff she's been doing thrown in too. I guess that's easy, but I don't get why it's cute. It doesn't seem cute. She asked me why I didn't put sex on my list. I told her I didn't know if we were allowed to write it down. Then she said something about the fact I thought about writing it was good enough. Good enough. In writing down her list, just in case I lose the original, I want to go on more walks. Just us. Yeah, that is definitely a thing I would do. Which is kind of funny. Because every person I've ever been in an actual relationship with hated the idea of going for walks or hiking. But I like going to bike trails and hiking trails and just walking on those trails. And I like the idea of bringing people with me, whether it's friends or a romantic partner. But everyone I've ever been in a relationship with, not a single one of them ever actually wanted to go for a walk with me. That's depressing. Then again, I am weird. Can we have a cat at some point? I wouldn't be against having a pet one day, but it's something I do feel very apprehensive about, which I know sounds weird since I said I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's like, I do like the idea of having a pet at some point, but it's also something I would feel very nervous about, if that makes any sense. Don't worry about me being a vegetarian, eat your meat. Hug me in public. I like hugs. I like hugging a lot, and I'm also the kind of person that I would definitely give people hugs in public. I am kind of an overly affectionate person who is starved for affection. Heck, I really like hugs. I'm the kind of person who want to give someone like 100 hugs a day. At the same time, I don't remember what a hug feels like. It's... Honestly, I don't think I ever will again, either. That's fine, I have a pillow, I can hug my pillow. I can talk to myself. Sex doesn't have to be public. Fun nicknames. Well, that's cute. Let me take off my helmet every now and then. Okay, that's a red flag right now. That's a red flag. Now, what do you mean? Everyone's like, whoa, what's a red flag that she has to take off her helmet for a relationship? Like, no. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. If mentioning her helmet, like, let me take off my helmet every now and then, if that is something that is so important, like it's such a big deal to mention, the only way that would ever be a big deal would be if it was something that she was wearing all the time. Obviously, it's a concern, the idea, I guess, that she has epilepsy, and the idea is if she falls, she might hit her head. Though, honestly, I don't know if I've ever met anybody in real life who ever had epilepsy. I don't think I have. Heck, at one point I considered the possibility I might have epilepsy, but that was just because I did like some odd kind of seizure things a couple times. But there was like no reason for those to occur. Just sort of happened. It's not like I've watched like strobe lights and shit that would trigger people who actually had epilepsy. No effect. But there are times where my body didn't exactly behave. It more so just went, hey, guess what? You're going to be on the ground and shake a lot. And it's only happened a couple times, though. I can't even think about, like, what was there was no discernible kind of trigger, as far as I can remember. And there was no, like, real damage. I mean, I can only think of really 2 times off of memory that was the thing. I think once about a few years ago. But, I was at home and I just got up a couple hours later. Then there was, I think back in like 2007, 2006. And again, it was just, it's not like I was on asphalt or concrete. There was soft ground under me, so no idea. But yeah, I don't think I've ever actually met anyone in real life with epilepsy. But sorry, I'm getting off topic. My point being is this. In order for her to say it's a big point about let me take off my helmet every now and then, it has to imply that she wears it almost all the time. It would also imply her epilepsy is a lot worse than what I would consider air quotes average epilepsy. If it's something that she has to like wear head protection for at all times. But the thing is this. The reason why this is a red flag is in order for this to be something important enough to merit writing it on the list, it would imply that she wears the helmet almost all the time. And yet, every time we've saw her, every single time we've seen her, she has not been wearing a helmet. Then again, we already know that there's something unusual in this game that's about like we were playing Persona and we went to an underground world where we fought supernatural entities like a Persona game. Then again, if someone has such a severe amount of epilepsy that they need to wear a helmet, is it really wise to take such a person into combat situations with demonic entities? But yeah, it's just the thing is this. For her to say it like this means it implies that she wears the helmet almost all the time. But every time we've seen her, she has not been wearing the helmet. Are we even in reality? Is everybody dead? Are we all dead? Are we in the subconscious world right now? Something is not right with reality right now. Catch me if I fall, if you're able to. I'd be so bad at that. My reflexes are so bad. Heck, my sense of balance is really bad. I can't even ride a bicycle. And it's not like a thing I can learn. I mean, I literally have a terrible sense of balance. Like, I don't drink alcohol. And I'm pretty sure if a cop pulled me over and told me to, like, walk a straight line, I wouldn't be able to do it. Heck, like those lunge stretches where, you still have 2 legs firmly planted on the ground? I tend to fall over when I do those. Everyone's like, every word you say, Lunar, makes you sound more lame. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I'm not athletic in any way, in skill or physical appearance. You really have no redeeming qualities at all. You can't do anything right. You barely have any money in your bank account. And You get hurt easily. You're not athletic, you're not strong, you're not capable. You're ugly as fuck. You also apparently don't have self-esteem, so what? Not that I deserve self-esteem, but still. If I die, don't wait up, go with Judith. There are some landmines thrown in there for sure. I asked her about the last one. All she said was, "You like her too, right?" I never thought spoken words could carry that kind of power. Now all I can think about is if I'm being stupid here. Is it stupid for me to be with someone who knows me this well? Or is it more stupid for me not to? I guess there's only one way to know for sure. Not in the bathrooms, not in the cafeteria. Out of habit, I fling open the door to the locker. Locker 713. But there's no misty, ethereal portal on the other side, and there's no Violet. There's only dust. This would be the most logical place to find her if she wasn't at the beach. I practically throw myself into the front door of Violet's house, screaming out her name in the process. But it's as empty as it's been all summer. My chest swells with a dense, anxious feeling as I dash back outside. I don't get it. If Violet wasn't at the beach, then this should have been the most realistic place for her to be, right? Frustrated, I check the mailbox for Ashton's letter as I make my way back out. But it is, of course, empty. I frantically knock on the door, hoping with every bit of me that Violet answers. Right. Judith, a true domestic goddess, is right where I assumed she'd be. So that's consistent, at least. Oliver, you're here early. Is it because of... No, it's not because of Ash left town. Quick, I don't have a lot of time. Have you seen Violet today? No, I haven't. I've mostly just been texting Emma about what happened. Crap. Well, if you see her, could you two put aside your bullshit and hang out here for a bit? Our bullshit? Yes, Judy, your mutual, very real, not important at all bullshit. Violet could be in serious danger. I don't know exactly what's happening, but if Ash disappeared, then so could she. So please, if you see Violet, just keep her safe, alright? After my pleas, Judith, hospitable ever, drops the clueless act and speaks candidly. Of course, Oliver, whatever you want. If I run into her, I'll do my part to make sure she's safe. Assuming I don't go and disappear. Cool, great, thank you. Assuming I don't go and disappear myself, you know. I give Judith a reassuring thumbs up before sprinting back to the sidewalk. Flagler Avenue Paranormal is littered with our victims, their soulless figures drifting aimlessly on the tropical wind. My first impulse is to ask if they've seen Violet anywhere, but I know they'll just regurgitate some generic statement about the weather or something. They don't even bother commenting on my behavior as I shamelessly dash through their shops and eateries. They all just smile. I reflexively scan the area for Ashton as I move about past the crab bucket, only to remember that he too is gone. And then call it to both of them one last time before moving on. Nighttime. I frantically scan the part for my girlfriend. Unfortunately, the place is completely empty, save for Andy doing some pull-ups on the monkey bar in a different outfit than last time. Andy, have you seen Violet today? Nope. Haven't seen her. 26, 27. Why? She might be in danger. It could have something to do with the underworld, but we're not entirely sure yet. Oh, damn. 28. Are you doing okay? Do you need help look for her? No, just send her over to your house if you run into her. We'll hash things out back here. Copy that. Anything else? 29. Yeah, give me 5 more pull-ups after that one. Really work those biceps, coach. You got it, Captain. Stay safe out there. She might be tough on me sometimes, but I'm glad Andy knows. How to be supportive when it matters. You too, Andy. Thank you. With this, I make a U-turn out of the park and continue my search. That's right.